Hi guys, welcome back to Fine Art with Zulette. I hope you enjoy this one. When you're preparing to do a portrait of your pet, your cat or your dog or your whatever pet you want to draw in colored pencil, there's one very important thing to keep in mind. When you choose the photograph, your reference photograph, it has to be crisp and clear. This one is pretty. I can see my cat. She's pretty. I love my cat, but it's not a clear picture. It's a bit blurry. I can't really see the color of her eyes. I can't really see very crisp details in this picture. When I look at this picture, it's a lot clearer. I can clearly see her eyes are a very light green. I can see the highlights in her eyes. I can see the individual hairs inside of her ears. I can see very, very clear, crisp detail in this picture. So I'm going to use this one for my demonstration portrait. Okay, so the first problem you run into is normally cats have white whiskers while dogs have black whiskers. Now it's easy to draw a dog on white paper because then you can just add black whiskers for the dog. But when you draw a cat, and if you draw my cat, Katrankie is mostly white and grey, you cannot make white on white paper with a white pencil. That doesn't work. You can, however, make all the darker variations of grey and the blacker parts, and where she's a bit dirty on her paws and her front, you can make those colors on white. One solution is to work on black paper. The white whiskers will show and all the lighter colors will show. Now you have a problem that your darker colors don't show. See there? So let's say, okay, white's going to work better because how are you going to do the darker bits on black paper? The thing with white and black paper, when you work on white paper with colored pencils, you let the white of the paper work for you, and vice versa. When you work on black paper, you let the black of the paper work for you. By this I mean, use the white of the paper for white parts in your drawing, or use the black of the paper for black parts in your drawing. Now this can be a little bit tricky, but let me show you quickly. Let's say we're going to draw on the white paper, right? So let me show you one way to do it. Let's say we want to add the whiskers of the cat now. Let's pretend this is the shape of the face. Is you add a dark background. Now there are a few ways. You can either leave that the part you want to be white, the whisker part, you can either leave that open. In other words, use the white of the paper, do not draw them. But now you have a problem. You can never ever, it's impossible. A whisker is a hairbreadth. It's impossible to leave that small a sliver of white open. It won't look natural and realistic. So another way is to darken the background around the cat, and then with the corner of an eraser, you erase the whisker. The problem is, again, the line you're going to erase is going to be much thicker, and you'll have to go back in to make it thinner, and then again you cannot make it thin enough, it won't look natural. Or you can use a white pencil. The problem with white pencil in colored pencils is it won't show. With paint it will work, yes, not with colored pencil. Let me show you. It doesn't make much of a difference. Let me show you a bit closer. See that there's a line there in the middle. You can see it. For one thing, it doesn't seem white, and it doesn't look natural. It's not realistic. So let me show you a trick. So you've got your dark background, because you have to have something that the white whiskers can stand out against, right? Now you use the utility knife, and what you do is you scratch with the tip, the very tip of the knife. You scratch out, and you have to be very careful not to scratch out more than needed. You scratch out that little whisker here. There you go. And then all you do is you redefine it. Remember, a hair is essentially a shaft. It's round, so it will have a very, very thin shadow on one side. A very subtle shadow on one side. There you can see all of them, all the methods. You have the leave open method, yeah. You have the white pencil method, you have the eraser method, and here you have the scratch it off with a utility knife. Now you can work on it a bit more. Let me show you. You can then just kind of blend in the background around it, to make it look more natural. Something like that. So this is for white whiskers. Alrighty. In the next part of the video, I'm going to show you how to shade or color the bigger parts of the fur to define the different limbs and parts of the cat and folds and shadows and all that. Okay, so here's only whiskers. Okay, so now I have the pure contour drawing, in other words the outlines and the most important details of what I want to draw here. I just want to make an adjustment here by her front. Oh, like that. Okay, so what I'm going to show you first is how to draw the eyes. Now for her eyes, I'm going to use, let me just get a test page out here. And I have my reference picture right in front of me. I'm going to use a combination of these two. Okay, remember, nothing in nature is one flat color. Everything is made up of combinations of colors, and in most cases, for instance, her eyes here is made up of these analogous colors. In In other words, colors that are situated next to each other on a color wheel. This will be her eyes, and you will get the same type of color combination in leaves or water or anything basically. And then there's an added little cool color. The only warm color here is the yellow, right? Remember that we also combine or try to balance out cool colors with warm colors. That's how it is in nature. It's always a balance. In the inner corner of both her eyes, there's a little bit of blue. It might be only a reflection of the blue camping chair she's lying on, but I'm going to add it anyway. I'm not sure if I'm going to add the camping chair in the end. Alright, so let's start. And you always start with the lighter colors, and I'm going to layer. There's a tiny little highlight right there. So I start with the lightest color, and I work my way up to the darkest color. I'm not pressing too hard on the pencil right now, because I would rather layer them and build the color layer by layer than going too dark right from the start. Okay, there's a darker bit right there. And you will see that I'm coloring in very, very tiny little circles. And I'm hardly pressing on the pencil at all. There's a little bit of dark right here. And then underneath the eyelid, because the eyelid casts a shadow inside the eye, remember? Okay, so I've got that. Now I just want to frame it, and I'm using a darkish brown first to do the framing. The white of the eye I'm leaving open for now. And the reason why I'm starting with brown for the dark around the eye is because it's easier to see, and there is a little bit of brownish with only tiny bit of black in between. Here in the corner, just like with humans, when you draw portraits of animals, the tiniest details makes a difference. So right here inside this corner of the eye, this is the direction of this outline changes ever so slightly, and there's a bit of a darker part here, right? Now I'm coming back with the black pencil, and already you can see the eye pop, right? And you will see that I'm not making a flat uniform line around her eyes. I'm working very, very meticulously, because the line around our eyes are not equally thick everywhere. and there seems to be hair right there. That's what I'm trying to do there. And here, next to the nose, this is on the side of the nose, remember? There's a dark part there. This is the part that's actually a bit lighter, so I'm not gonna go over that with the black too much. And then let me just flatten and sharpen this tip a bit. There you go, because I need a very, very, very fine tip. And again, it doesn't go all the way around, so I'm trying. And there are little highlight right there. So that's the one eye. Now I can go back and work on the outline of the iris a bit more. Can't really see anything on that side, and I can work a bit more on the actual color. This is a very bright yellow, so I'm a bit cautious of adding too much of it. Okay, now where the blue comes in, very, very lightly. It's only a tinge of blue right there in the corner of the eye. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how to color the fur, the texture of fur. Alright, so right here behind and around this ear, this is where I'm going to show you how to do the texture of fur. Now remember that all of this are a lot of patterns that kind of meshes, it clicks into each other like this. It's patterns, it's a lot of patterns. So what I'm going to do is you will see that there's a bit of a lighter bit. I'm just gonna try to outline the lighter part there. See that for this I hold my pencil flat, but instead of making broad lines like that, I'm making sharp little lines like this with the side of the pencil. Okay, that's pretty much that. This is just very rough, so that I can just know. Because I'm going to combine two techniques here. I'm going to try to leave open most of the lighter area and adding detail on top. So the first thing I'm doing, there are three colors there. There's the gray. There's a little, I'm going to add a little bit of black for the darker parts, and then there is a light, almost a yellowish brown. I think that one will do nicely. So there are basically three colors in this area here, four actually, because there's white as well. Remember, you cannot draw white on top of dark colors with colored pencil. So what I'm going to do is the main color in this area is gray, so I'm using the gray to just roughly block in the main color there. taking care to leave open the white, or most of the white, as far as I possibly can. So I'm just blocking in, and not over the ear is something separate, and not over the head here. The head is also something separate. Just blocking in this grain. It's just for uniformity's sake and for the bigger picture's sake. Block in a little bit of the grey on that side as well. Okay, so you're not worried about details yet. You're just blocking in. And now I'm going in, and now we're going to start working on details. So immediately I see the white hairs here from the ears. We'll worry about that later. What I'm going to work on now is very painstakingly working on the patterns. And patterns in fur and in any other type of pattern, for example tree bark, is the play of dark and light. That's what makes up the patterns. There's a very dark shadow right here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. For now, I'm worried about this. The patterns here around the face and the ear, not that one. I'll get to that one later. So for now, in this area where I am right now, this is where the yellowy brown comes in. I'm not coloring the entire thing dark here, because there is other colors, for example the yellowy brown, showing through the dark here. And now here by the side of her face there's a pretty smooth line, so I'm trying to keep the line smooth on this side while creating the texture on that side. The same thing, it's a smooth line on this side, but texture on the other side. Alright, this is not where the white area is, that's where the white area goes. So I'm working on the dark parts. Here I need to change direction because the hairs are changing direction here. Here they are going in this way, but slowly but surely they change direction here around the ear. So I need to change direction here. Alright, so changing direction here. They are pretty dark here on the back of the ear. They kind of stick up there. Right now, just to add the interest, and as nature does, add a bit of warm color there, because remember, black is actually not seen as a color in art circles, it's seen as a neutral, but it is a cool neutral. So let's just add that yellow parts there, and just for interest's sake a little bit there. painstakingly. Now, if you've gone too dark, use a putty eraser and just lift off. Press it onto your work and lift off some of the pigment that you laid down. You won't be able to erase all of it. That's not the idea here anyway. The idea is just to lift off some of it. Alrighty, so that's pretty much how you do it. And then we want to add that white hairs here. I'll come back to it later because I still have to do the insides of the ears. Don't rub away like this. The little particles of paper and pigment, rather blow them away. Otherwise they will smudge, the color will smudge right back into those white areas. Another way to get rid of them is to use a soft brush and very, very gently just brush away the pigment that you scraped off. Okay, so I will continue with this and show you the finished kitten. I think her eyes are not this green. I think I must lift off just a little bit. Her eyes more like a washed out bleached kind of green. Okay, now I can just add those black parts again. There is a highlighter right there that I kind of forgot about. So I'm working with watercolor pencils, which makes this easy now. I'm just gonna wet the tip and try to put that white dot back there. There you go, that looked fine. Okay, so I'm gonna continue with the rest of the fur now. I think you should get the idea of how to create the texture of the fur. Okay, see you at the end.